Why does a nation that just broke its slave chains suddenly tremble like it's staring into an abyss? Just because of a mountain? The sky convulses, thunder cracks, like it wants to tear the air apart. A trumpet blast stretches on and on, so loud, so relentless, that tens of thousands collapse to the ground in sheer terror. In the middle of swirling clouds and roaring fire, why is there only one man, Moses, who dares to walk straight into what looks like death? And what exactly is being carved into stone words with the power to shape human conscience for thousands of years? This isn't just writing, this is a constitution signed in blood. Stay to the very end, because the blood covenant at Sinai won't just flip the destiny of Israel, it will confront yours too. Exactly 3 months after leaving the chains of Egypt behind, Israel stops and makes camp at the foot of Mount Sinai. The mountain isn't glamorous like Pharaoh's palace. There's no gold, no towering columns, no polished stone, but its silence is massive, immovable, and radiates a terrifying authority, like a warning from eternity itself. This is the place where God once called Moses from a burning bush. And now God calls him again, this time to decide the fate of an entire people. Moses walks between rows of tents, meeting thousands upon thousands of eyes that still carry a flicker of hope, but are crowded with confusion. They escape the whips, the bricks, the shouts of slave masters. Yet this new freedom brings its own kind of fear. With Egypt gone, they begin to tremble before a different emptiness. How do we live together now? What laws hold us in place? Which road do we take next? In the desert night, the air turns sharp and cold. Children cry. Whispers travel tent to tent like sparks. And inside Moses, an old wound throbs again, the memory of how quickly a crowd can turn, how easily loyalty collapses under panic. He knows it better than anyone. These people could reverse course in a single wave of fear. Then God speaks to Moses from the mountain, reminding Israel of what he has already done, how he carried them and brought them to himself. This rescue was never meant to be an escape alone. It was meant to become a relationship, a treasured possession, a kingdom of priests, a holy nation. Moses brings the message down, and the whole people answer like a tide surging at once. All that the Lord has spoken, we will do. But God knows how fragile the human heart is, so he commands them to prepare for 3 days, cleanse themselves, wash their clothes, and ready their souls. Moses sets strict boundaries around the mountain. Because the holiness of the Most High is not something you treat casually, anyone who crosses the line must die. Those 3 days pass in held breath, in tense silence, in the waiting that feels like standing on the edge of something you can't name. And then the 3rd day arrives. The sky suddenly darkens. Thunder detonates across the wilderness. Lightning splits the air. And a trumpet blast rises, growing louder, louder, longer, until it feels like it's inside the bones of every person in the camp. Mount Sinai pours out smoke like a giant furnace, because God descends in fire. The entire mountain shakes violently. From a distance, the people stare, terrified, as if the Creator has pulled back the curtain of reality for a moment, and everyone can feel it. From this point on, their nation is no longer a wandering crowd. A kingdom is being established at the foot of a holy mountain. And in the middle of their terror, only Moses steps forward. His voice pushes through the thunder. Do not be afraid. God has come to test you, so that the fear of him may be before you, that you may not sin. But when holiness stands that close, people feel exposed. Suddenly there's nowhere to hide. Every lie, every dark thought, every secret motive lay bare under the burning fire above Sinai. Moses walks into the thick cloud. The trumpet becomes distant. The only sound left is his own heartbeat. And there God gives the 10 Commandments. I am the Lord your God. You shall have no other gods before me. You shall not make for yourself an idol. You shall not take the name of the Lord your God in vain. Remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy. Honor your father and your mother. You shall not murder. You shall not commit adultery. You shall not steal. You shall not bear false witness. You shall not covet anything that belongs to your neighbor. These words fall like heavy, unmovable stones, not to imprison a free people, but to rebuild order for a people who have never learned how to live free. Below the mountain, Israel is so shaken that they beg Moses, "Speak to us yourself, but do not let God speak to us lest we die." And in that moment, Moses understands. They're not only afraid of thunder and fire, they're afraid of facing the truth of their own uncleanness before a holy God. When Moses comes down from Sinai, he carries more than commandments. He carries a mission to establish a living covenant. He carefully writes down all the words of the Lord. Then he builds an altar at the foot of the mountain, along with 12 stone pillars, one for each tribe of Israel, declaring that this is not a private moment. This is a national vow. And then comes the ceremony, raw, weighty, unforgettable. Bulls are offered. Their blood is dark red. Moses divides it into 2 portions. Half of him splashes against the altar, offering it to God. Then the people vow again with one voice, "All that the Lord has spoken, we will do, and we will obey." And Moses takes the remaining blood and splashes it on the people. His words strike the air like a verdict. "Behold the blood of the covenant that the Lord has made with you." In that instant, a line is drawn. They are no longer runaway slaves drifting through sand. They are set apart, claimed as a holy people, bound to God by covenant. After the blood covenant, Moses goes up the mountain again, this time with Aaron, Aaron's sons, and 70 elders. Up where the wind screams and the clouds swallow the ridges, they witness something breathtaking. Beneath God is what looks like a pavement of sapphire, clear and bright like the very heavens. Scripture records a detail that sounds almost impossible. They behold the glory of Go, and there in his presence they eat and drink. A sign unmistakable. The God of Sinai is not only the God who makes people tremble, he is also the God who creates communion, who grants peace, who dwells with his people in an everlasting covenant. Then God calls Moses deeper still to receive the stone tablets engraved with the law. Moses steps into the cloud again. From below, the people can only see the summit burning like a massive flame that never goes out. And Moses stayed there 40 days and 40 nights. In the absolute silence of that height, he learns what freedom truly requires. Not momentary emotion, not the thrill of escape, but a firm foundation of law, order, and covenant. Moses becomes the only bridge between the Most High God and a people prone to forget. But while Moses speaks with God above, the desert wind keeps blowing below, and Israel's patience begins to collapse. Questions spread like an infection. Where is Moses? What if he doesn't come back? And right here at the sharp edge of waiting, their faith faces its most brutal test. Their enemy is no longer Egypt's chariots. It is impatience, fear, the slow burning panic that can turn into betrayal quietly at first, and then all at once. Next episode, you'll witness what happens when impatience becomes treason and when Moses comes down carrying the tablets, only to see something that shatters his heart. Like and subscribe so you don't miss the next Bible stories.